Okay, today on Dreadysays, on this dreary British weekend, we're going to be looking at the different cases and options for the 360 1R in the 360 mode. Now, stitching is always a problem with 360 cameras. It's that line you get right down the sides because it has to use the software and the AI to link them up. So there are going to be 4 different tests here. One is the, I think it's a TELESIN cheap and nasty 360 waterproof case. I have used this one. We're going to try it with the vertical battery. So it sort of makes the 1R into a 1X or X2. And this beast, 70 quid for this. And you have to spend another 50 quid on the vertical battery, but it's supposed to be fully waterproof. So we're also going to try it in its bog standard mode with the battery underneath, not in this vertical configuration. So I'm just going to walk up and down whilst I'm out walking the puppy and take it back to the software and see which one comes out best. Now, this does have applications for SUP and surfing, which is primarily why I bought this one. There will be a proper review probably next year now when I try it in the surf. What does worry me is it's a screw mount and it's the same there, but when you're using this case you've got the GoPro style attachment, which is a lot more secure, but that's for another time. Right, let's try them out in no particular order. Okay, first up we're going to try it with the invisible selfie stick, seeing as it was already put together in its vertical mode. Now, they do claim it's waterproof down to 5 meters, but apparently not when you surf. Sorry, it's a windy day. Hopefully the dead cat on the mic helps a little bit. Little bonus tip for you: when you are using these selfie sticks, always have the camera vertical. Don't tilt the camera, especially if you've got it with the GoPro style mount. So there we have it. We're going to be shooting 4K 30 on the camera you're looking at here. Not that that makes any difference, but this is all going to be 5.7K at 30 frames. Okay, while I'm here I better check it in this configuration just quickly. In its surf test. Baxter? Baxter? Bye, boy. Just can't get the staff, can you? Okay, let's pop that in there. Got to take it off its vertical bumper case. Well, at least it's snug. Okay, there we go, in it goes. It's pretty straightforward, bit of a beastie. Now, this would be mounted obviously vertically to a surfboard, so it is going to be mounted in that sort of configuration. So I'm going to drop this down, and if it was on my board I'd like to keep it at least 5-6 inches away so you can look down, and I'm going to try it in this configuration. Did I put it in the right way? I did not. Got to make sure the buttons line up. Spin that round. Clean the lens. Hopefully the lens wasn't too dirty on the first test we did. Right, that's better. Now, which button was go? I forget. Yep. Okay, surf test. So, I'm just going to look like more of an idiot than usual and walk around with it in this configuration. You won't be able to hear me. It's a dive case. Okay, I forgot the little screw fit, but this should be fine. Okay, this is in its cheap dive case. Let's give that a go. Now, there may be scratches on the case because I did come off my motorbike with it. Last weekend. But we're here to look at that all-important stitch line. Oh, this wind's messing up my hair. Okay, last test. Make sure that's vertical, and hopefully it doesn't fall off because I haven't brought the screw with me. This is in its standard configuration as you get it out of the box. Now we're going to go back, do a little bit of editing and see which one works out. Is 30 quid good enough for the aftermarket TELESIN, TeleSuite, Home Suite, TELESIN's one of them? Can you get away with it without the dive case? Now, I personally wouldn't recommend it. I've not killed one of these and I'm not going to risk it. Or do you have to spend 50 quid on a vertical battery? And does the stitching above water look good when it's in its vertical configuration? And then do you need to spend another 70 quid on that beast of a dive case, which we don't know yet whether it'll even stay on the board with that type of screw mount? We'll see. Right, let's get to the editing suite and then I'll come back at the end and we'll do a little bit of a wrap up. Alright guys, cheers. Okay, we've had a look now and the results are all over the place. If we start with the vertical battery configuration without it in its dive case, that beast of a thing, it was the best result because with it being vertical, it was the furthest away from the selfie stick, so it could look down and the selfie stick was removed. Perfect. The stitch line seemed easier to get rid of as well, always a bonus. If we move on to the dive case, the official dive case, very tricky one. If you keep it pretty much 90 degrees, it's the best results in a dive case. But even if you look down a little bit, if I wanted to look at the nose of the board or down near my feet if I was surfing, you've got that massive blob where you can see the base of the case. So that's a big negative and we don't know how it's going to mount yet. But stitch line wise, it wasn't bad at all. Almost as good as it vertically. That case really does create almost no stitch line. I have to add that every single one of these has been in the Insta software and I've actually used the software to remove the stitch lines. Chuck a comment down below if you need any help with that. I will be doing a video tutorial at some point. Moving on to it in its standard configuration where it's just a standard Insta360 with the twin lens with the battery across the bottom. Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't as good as it vertically. I mean, that was very apparent, but it does the job. The stitch line is pretty bad if you get within about 2 feet of it. That's the thing with 360 cameras. The further the object is away from the lenses, the better it is. So it does the job. Now, the TELESIN cheap aftermarket, there was reflection on the lens. It wasn't because I scratched it, because I fell off my motorbike. Luckily it was in its case. The stitch line was the worst. However, it is the smallest profile, it is the safest to mount, so it's a pro and a con. It's under half price of the official case, but the results are pretty bad. I had problems with that case fogging up as well. A little bit of baby shampoo inside, just a tiny little bit. Thanks Ben from What's Up UK for that little tip. That did the job, that was fine, but the sun reflects off it, it's just not very good. I may use it again, I may not. It depends. It depends how it goes with the official big 70 quid jobby, the official Insta dive case. So please add some comments down below on what you thought. We're not looking at audio there because audio is also all over the place. And like and subscribe. Hopefully this was handy. I've spent far too much money on all this kit now, so I'm really trying to explore it and see what I can use, what I can get away with. I'm still yet to find a better solution than just the flat 4K lens, either on a GoPro or the Insta, because the dive cases for that, you don't have to worry about stitch lines, but you lose the 360. So I can see me actually running two cameras, both Instas. One just with a 4K mod, like down below, and then above it, so you won't see it, the 360, so I can get all that B-roll. But that's just me. We'll see how that goes. I will post a video about that once I've got the other core mod, so I can run two cameras side by side. But yeah, there we have it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you for the next one.